Is GoPro's Hero 13 a disappointment, or is it a stepping stone to something even better? We're gonna talk about that today, but first, I gotta check. I thought I had a bug in my helmet. Anyway, welcome back to the channel, my friend. We're on the side of the road. Yeah, it's a very exciting element to my videos. Yeah, I don't really know, but I really needed to check my helmet. It's rather itchy. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day. Leave me a comment below with how your day is going. And we're gonna talk GoPro 13 today, so buckle up. I use my GoPros literally hundreds of hours per year. I put a lot of stress on them. Heat, cold, wet, dry, battery swaps. I've got a lot of batteries. I've got the SD cards. I am in the GoPro ecosystem. I'm also in the coffee ecosystem. Coffee. The sustenance of life. But the GoPro 13 just released, right? And every year, without fail, I get a bunch of comments. John, what do you think of the next GoPro? What's gonna be in it? What can we expect? How is it? And then I turn around and I buy one and I give my review of it, the pros and the cons. I buy all my own cameras. I've yet to be sponsored or given a camera. So I buy all my own cameras. It's a very expensive hobby. And I'm now up to 5 GoPros, 8, 9, 10, 12, and max. I skipped the 11, I did a video and it's on screen now, link to it anyway. And I explained in that video why I didn't buy a Hero 11. And I feel like I made a pretty good choice. You're gonna pull out, aren't you? Yep, pull on out. Yeah, that's fine. Look at this. I love carrying a GoPro with me almost everywhere I go because the clip that's on screen now, this red Chevy behind me keeps tailgating me. Where are they? They're over there behind me. Maybe you can see them now. Yeah, she keeps crawling up my butt. Yeah, that car was tailgating me and then another one cut over right behind me. And if the worst happens, it's not he said, she said, it's he said, GoPro said. So I always make sure that I have my GoPros at least powered up, ready to record, unless I'm going on an all-day ride. And we're gonna get back into the workflow in just a minute. But I have all these GoPros and I use the crap out of them. And there's one thing that GoPro does that the other companies haven't been able to master, and that is the remote. Now, I understand DJI or Insta360. They have a remote that might work with 3 cameras or 5 cameras, but it doesn't do the power on, power off. And officer, I'm just creeping forward so I don't get made into road pizza. Okay, we're good, let's go. So I'm kind of stuck with GoPro and they've been sliding. The last few generations have not been received well by the general public. The 9 I found glitchy as all hell. The 10 was a little bit better, but has a couple of fatal flaws that I've gone into in other videos. And then I skipped the 11 and I bought the 12, and it's got one flaw that is a semi-important thing, and that is with the multicam, it doesn't power on, power off properly. Powers off fine, doesn't power on properly, which is kind of a bummer, and it means I go through more batteries, but it does work, and both the 12 and the 10 stay connected to the remote at all times without fail. The 9 likes to randomly disconnect. I'm not sure why, but I'm not a huge fan of that. And thus the 12 took the 10's place on the helmet. The 10 took the 9's place on the handlebars. Bob's your uncle. And I've got a pretty solid workflow that works for me. And everybody's workflow is different. You know, let's go this way today. Let's go straight. We're going to try to avoid as much traffic as possible. But I keep looking back on GoPro, and I still think they have the best image quality. DJI is catching up and may have surpassed them with the Action 4. And I think that's a great thing. Competition is wonderful. I really enjoy seeing GoPro's competitors step up to the plate and in some ways beat the OG action camera company, GoPro. I like to see them beat, because that means they're going to come back and fight harder. And a lot of people, if you look at the 13, and at this point, it doesn't behoove me to do a spec review or anything else. It's out in the wild. You've already seen all the bigs do their videos on it, whatever. But from somebody who is a prosumer of GoPro products, I'm not sold on it yet. The 13, at a glance, looks like a refresh of the 12. It has very much the same specs. It's the same size, which I wasn't expecting. it uses different batteries, which I was expecting, but it uses the same media mod, and you can use this max lens mod on it, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm happy. But it uses the same sensor and processor. Now, there's something that most of the bigs aren't talking about, and that is that GoPro, according to my research, rewrote the software for the camera from the ground up. It is 100% new in an effort to fix a lot of the glitchiness. The aforementioned 910, and I think the 11 even had some of this, they had a number of glitches that made them unusable for a lot of people, pissed a lot of people off. Now, I haven't had all the same experience, which is still wild that the same hardware and software can react differently for different people, but I digress. What I see that as is a real big step forward for the Hero 13. If they nailed the software out of the gate and are only adding features and not fixing bugs in the first few firmwares or after the first couple of firmwares, I will be very happy to see that. Now, if they have fixed the issue with the remote, then my 12 is going to become a paperweight, because my 10 might have screwed up a few times lately, but I think that's down to the SD card. I have burned through SD cards, and I buy a new one with each camera. So every time I buy a camera, I get a new SD card. That way I'm constantly using fresh SD cards. There's usually less of a chance of failure of the SD card. Now, the 13 also does these other things wherein they have these extension lenses or something. They call it the HB series, and they've got a macro lens, an anamorphic lens, which is coming, and they have a new max lens mod. Now, the kicker with these, is that when you plug one of these new lenses on, but if you connect it to the GoPro Hero 13, the camera automatically senses the lens, and unlike my manual transmission Harley Davidson, hey, there's a product placement for you. The GoPro 13 changes its settings to match the lens, which I think is really cool. Now on the 12 here, when I go from max lens mode on and off and on, it remembers those settings, so it's one manual step. It's not a big deal, but if you're swapping lenses, that's pretty cool. So this is why I say I see the 13 as a jump-off spot for GoPro and a way to reclaim some market share and take over a little bit more of the cinematic side of things, because I have personally seen GoPros used on, not Hollywood production, but The Deadliest Catch on Discovery Channel. They use a bunch of GoPros on every boat to record the outside scenes where they have fixed mounting positions, and then they have cinema cameras for the people moving around on deck. What I think GoPro's doing is they've got the anamorphic lens coming, and they've got these other lenses. They're trying to make it an all-in-one camera that's got good battery life, superior stability, and now much better video quality, because we all know you're recording with a separate microphone or you've got an external mic if you're doing anything serious with a GoPro. I'm using a Purple Panda, which is not an expensive mic, but it works well for my uses. But I have plugged my Rode Video Micro 2 into it, also not an expensive camera, microphone rather. I'm being tailgated by a BMW. And I find that for my use case, this works rather well, and I am very pleased with the results. Wow, we really got the bike leaned over through there. That's pretty cool. Let me pat myself on my back while I go through the S-curves. But I think GoPro is trying to move a little bit up market from the regular consumer that might pick up an Action 4 or a Hero 12 and be happy with its out-of-the-box performance, or an Insta360, whatever they're putting out now. So I think they're going more cinematic. I really do, and I think it's a wonderful thing. I am just not sure. I'm going to keep track of the GoPro 13's results in the marketplace and see what kind of bugs and bug fixes are required, and then I will make my decision from there. I'm not sold on it yet. The kicker with that is that it might cost me an extra $100 if I do decide to buy the Hero 13, because they had an introductory price as soon as they announced it online of $299 for subscribers. of which I am a member. I'm a member of the subscribers group. And I'm not ashamed to say that, but they have this $100 deal, and now it's going to be $399. I don't know when they're going to do that, but I hope it's after I make my final decision, because I take whatever money I earn on this channel and I basically pour it into new camera gear to test things out and let you know what works and what doesn't. Not unlike thousands of other channels on YouTube, but I provide my own unique perspective on things, so I got that going for me. So at the end of the day, the jury's still out, but I think I'm right in what I said, and I'm curious to see if GoPro follows my advice post-release, as it were. I just really, and one more thing about this, I hope that GoPro takes some of what they've learned with the 13 and like strips out the 13 specific features, like the battery usage and the HP lenses, and really trickles down the software upgrade to the 12. That would be the cat's behind. It really would be the rat's behind too. It would be awesome to see that. I would absolutely love to see my 12 get a significant shot in the arm, as it were, and perform even better, because I have been very pleased with the image quality that has come out of my Hero 12 and its performance as an everyday vlogging camera. I really have. It's been outstanding with very, very few failures other than the remote issue. So that's what I'm hoping for. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Have you bought a 13? Are you going to buy one? Are you going to wait for me to buy one and review it and then make a decision? I'm very curious to know. And in the meantime, I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget the 2 mantras. 1, you have a 100% track record of making it through a bad day. And 2, hey, rock out. Do something nice for yourself every day. Maybe it's buying a Hero 13 so I don't have to. Bye!